Guess what, lads? We're trying. We are really trying. I haven't made a Hamilton video years, decades. The centuries have gone by. The Nerdy Brit has not released a Hamilton-based video. I mean, yes, I've released In the Heights. I've talked about Lin Manuel Miranda till I could die, but no, nothing specifically Hamilton. So today I was thinking, you know, what can I do to reignite the Hamilton flame? James, you're seeing it in like 2 weeks. You're just gonna post a review then? Yeah, but I could do another Hamilton video. Did I mention I'm seeing Hamilton in like less than 2 weeks? But no, today I wanted to delve into a Hamilton-based question. What is not the best, but the most popular Hamilton song? Let's go. So to work this out, I haven't done anything particularly complicated. I've just looked on Spotify, looked on like a desktop, not the phone version, and I've looked what songs have the most views and compiled them all into a document ranked of listen. I call them views, like listens, the plays that Spotify counts. So today we'll just, we'll go through them, we'll talk about some interesting things, and I'll reveal to you what the number one is. Can you guess it? Yeah, let's play a little game. Put it down in the comments now, and then afterwards we'll talk about it and see if you're a mug or not. But I will reveal to you right now what is the least listened to Hamilton song. For context, the song that has been listened to the least on the Hamilton soundtrack was listened to 4 times less than the song that has been most listened to. And yeah, that's not good for this song. It's Best of Wives and Best of Women. That's probably a couple of reasons for this. It'll be a trend, I'll reveal it now, that the further you get through the Hamilton soundtrack, the less, listened to songs get overall, as a lot of people just click on playlist, and if they're not clicking on shuffle, it'll just go through. So not only is it really near the end, it's also, it's a short song, it's quite boring, it's quite skippable, it ranks very low on most people's rankings. You can see why. Now, I did mention it just then, but it's a big part of what makes this list, is the fact of an earlier song is on the soundtrack, not necessarily the more listens it has, but the more likely it is to have more listens. So, I'll give you some context. Our top song has 200 million listens on Spotify. Only one song from Act 2 has 100 million. So only one song can do half of what the top song, which is in Act 1, can do. I've got the numbers in front of me, and there are some songs in Act 2 that have really been shortchanged, seemingly just because they're part of Act 2. So there are 46 songs in the Hamilton soundtrack, and Election of 1800 came 39th, that's a banger. Hurricane is 40th. Cabinet Battles are quite low down the list. I mean, One Last Time, one of arguably the best Hamilton songs. Go check out the Hamilton song ranking in a card. But One Last Time is 30th. 30th out of 46. So it's very close to the bottom third, and it's one of the best songs. So let's go more into depth on the top 15. But in Act 2, there's one song that's really actually surprised me, and it's the one that's managed to gain 100 million views. And it's Burn. Now, Burn is a song that has become probably quite divisive in the Hamilton fandom. Is Hamilton a fandom? Yeah, Hamilton fandom. If there isn't a fandom, I'm the only bloody member, so aren't I cool? Join the Hamilton fandom. Join it. But Burn is very divisive, because there are some that can't really enjoy it that much, and there are some that it is their favourite Hamilton song. My guess is that's why this is the one that's managed to become a real success amongst Act 2, which isn't particularly successful in terms of views. Obviously, this is relative. For most musicals would kill for their bottom song to have around 50 million listens. Like, that's crazy. Like, that song has nearly as many people as in the UK. It's class. Also, I am slightly misleading, because that's not saying all the other Act 2 songs are duds. Room Where It Happens is actually like 2 million away from 100 mil. But Burn is the most popular song from Act 2. I think that's because people who love the song love it. Like, even people who aren't necessarily fond of Hamilton but fond of musical theatre, Burn is something that is like their one takeaway from Hamilton. For example, for me, I know that I have certain songs from certain musicals that I love without really delving too far deeper into the musical. I've never really had much of an interest in going that deep into something like Anything Goes, but the title song, I think most musical theatre fans have seen the Tony's performance, and that just astounded me, and it's been on most of my musical theatre playlists ever since. I just have no interest in going on to the musical right now. I may do at some point. But yeah, I think I'm very surprised at Burn, but it's done well for itself. Let's have a look at our top 15. You've seen this, so the 16th was Burn. So let's talk about every song that's done over 100 mil listens. Yorktown is 15th, and you might think that's high, but think about it. Yorktown is one of the most popular songs, but again, it's probably so far down Act 1, the trend is against it. And then unfortunately, that favours songs like Far More Refuted, which, yeah, is a really good song. But that song should not have just as many views. I apologise if I've said, like, views instead of listens like 1,000 times this video. I'm used to YouTube, I mix up the two. That song has more listens than Yorktown. Far More Refuted has more listens than Yorktown. How? Theodosia probably perfectly placed at 13th, I think. Yeah, probably doesn't crack most people's top 10s, but everyone's very fond of it. Some people really like it. It just really good, lovely song. Again, being close to the start, Story of Tonight has 111. That's close to the top 10. Story of Tonight's good, but it's not top 10. Even though it is closer to the start, I'm surprised to see Right Hand Man has 113, which it does feel like this whole being close to the start thing is, you know, is harmful to a musical, because there are a lot. There are George Washington has much better songs. Much better songs. Top 10, Non-Stop, makes sense. You know, it's an Act 1 finale, so, you know, it's Non-Stop's a banger, let's face it. Then these next two are super surprising when compared to what is above it. On paper, if I was to tell you that more people have listened to Aaron Burr Sir than Wait For It and Guns and Ships, probably two of the most talked about Hamilton songs, you would tell me I'm wrong. But no, Aaron Burr Sir's at 7, 8 and 9 is Wait For It, and what the bloody hell was I talking about? Guns and Ships. Guns and Ships. Professionalism. And Helpless is number 6. I think this just shows Phillipa Soo and that character's popularity that really resonates with people. And Helpless is one that's got me as well. I think Helpless works as like a middle ground where the people who are a fan of that character really love her, but then people who weren't much of a fan of Burn, still a lot of them can find a lot of enjoyment in Helpless. And then this top 5, you can see a trend. You can see a trend of the songs that are earlier and very popular. Number 5, You'll Be Back, early and popular. Number 4, The Schuyler Sisters, early and popular. 3, Satisfied, popular, it's early. It's about halfway through Act 1, so yeah, it's earlier than most. But you know, that song has power to it, and you know, it shows that song has resonated above just being early, which is really impressive. 2, My Shot, you know, I mean, you get past Alexander Hamilton, and you get past the setup song of Aaron Burr Sir. No hate towards Aaron Burr Sir, but you get past that song, and you know, My Shot is one of the songs that, you know, sells the show almost, and it's one of those that you expect to be up there. And at number 1, Alexander Hamilton. I mean, logic would dictate, I mean, if I probably should have filmed a segment, but if I'd asked myself what's going to be the most listened to song, you're probably thinking Wait For It, Room Where It Happens, You'll Be Back, My Shot. But Alexander Hamilton, I think, yeah, people do just click the soundtrack and that's the first one that comes up, or they want to try a musical, you listen to the first song, if you like it you continue, if you don't you leave. But yeah, Alexander Hamilton is always one of the most talked about Hamilton songs, and for a lot of people, it's one of the few they've heard. Nothing bad about that. If you just didn't like it, that's fine. But that's one a lot of people hear, and it's a shame because you know, that's not the best song, so you can't judge the musical on it. Now, I want to ask you guys something. Should this be a series? Because I think that was quite interesting. I think, you know, there were some things we found out I think was interesting. However, I would genuinely be worried in making this a series and it becoming very, very similar. I wouldn't, for example, like, I could tell you right now, in 2 weeks' time, we could do a Book of Mormon episode, and guess what? Hello is number one. Someone tell me if you think the format is going to work, or if it's going to get boring, or if this was just a fun one-off because I wanted to talk about Hamilton. Help me out in the comments, and apart from that, peace. Have a lovely rest of your day.